Today's question is, what do you understand by the term Nehruvian Consensus? Explain. The term Nehruvian Consensus refers to the foundational political and economic philosophy adopted by India in the post-independence era under the leadership of its first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. This consensus shaped the nation's policies and socio-economic trajectory for several decades. It is characterized by a blend of democratic socialism, secularism, and non-alignment in foreign policy. We will be discussing in detail part-wise. First part is historical context and emergence. The Nehruvian Consensus emerged in the wake of India's independence from British colonial rule in 1947. Jawaharlal Nehru, a prominent leader of the Indian National Congress, played a pivotal role in shaping the newly independent nation's trajectory. The consensus sought to address the diverse challenges faced by a newly sovereign state, including economic underdevelopment, social inequalities, and the need for political stability. Next we have key elements of the Nehruvian Consensus. First key elements is democratic socialism. Nehru envisioned a socialist pattern of society where economic development would be guided by the state to ensure equitable distribution of resources. The idea was to balance economic growth with social justice. This approach led to the establishment of a mixed economy where the government controlled key industries while allowing for private enterprise. The 5-year plans initiated in 1951 were central to this vision, emphasizing agricultural and industrial development. Second point is secularism. Nehru's vision of India was a secular one, where the state maintained neutrality in religious matters. Secularism was crucial in a nation marked by religious diversity. The aim was to foster unity and maintain peace by ensuring that no religion was given preferential treatment by the state. This approach was enshrined in the Indian Constitution and was meant to protect the rights and freedoms of all citizens irrespective of their religious beliefs. Third one is non-alignment. In the realm of foreign policy, Nehru championed the non-aligned movement, which sought to maintain independence from the power blocs of the Cold War era led by the United States and the Soviet Union. The goal was to protect India's sovereignty and promote global peace and cooperation. This policy allowed India to engage with various nations based on mutual respect and non-interference, while also advocating for decolonization and disarmament. Third, we have economic and social policies. First is economic planning. Nehru's approach to economic development was heavily influenced by the Soviet model of planned economy. The Planning Commission was established to formulate and oversee the implementation of the 5-year plans. These plans focused on infrastructure development, industrialization, and self-reliance. Heavy industries such as steel, machinery, and energy were prioritized to create a strong industrial base. Next, agricultural reforms. Recognizing the significance of agriculture in the Indian economy, Nehru introduced land reforms aimed at redistributing land to the landless and marginal farmers. The objective was to increase agricultural productivity and improve the socio-economic conditions of rural India. Initiatives like the Community Development Program and the Green Revolution were also part of this strategy. Next, third, we have social welfare. Nehru's vision extended to social welfare policies aimed at improving education, healthcare, and social security. The emphasis was on creating a literate and healthy population that could contribute to the nation's development. Institutions of higher learning such as the Indian Institute of Technology (IITs) were established to promote scientific and technical education. Next, the fourth part, we have impact and legacy. First impact, we will discuss economic transformation. The Nehruvian Consensus laid the foundation for India's economic transformation. The focus on industrialization and infrastructure development created the necessary conditions for future economic growth. The emphasis on self-reliance and import substitution helped reduce dependency on foreign goods and technology. Second is social integration. Secularism and social justice policies promoted national integration and helped manage India's diversity. While challenges remained, the framework provided a basis for peaceful coexistence and the protection of minority rights. Third one is non-alignment and global influence. Nehru's non-alignment policy positioned India as a leader in the global south and a voice for newly independent nations. India's role in the non-aligned movement and its advocacy for decolonization earned it significant respect and influence in international affairs. Fifth part is criticisms and challenges. First one is economic constraints. The state-led economic model faced criticism for inefficiency and lack of competitiveness. Bureaucratic control and the license Raj stifled entrepreneurial initiative and led to economic stagnation in the long run. The shortcomings of the Nehruvian economic policy eventually led to economic liberalization in the 1990s. Second point is persistent inequalities. Despite efforts at land reforms and social justice, significant inequalities persisted. The benefits of development were unevenly distributed and the rural-urban divide remained a major challenge. Third one is foreign policy limitations. While non-alignment provided strategic autonomy, it also faced limitations in addressing security challenges, particularly with neighboring countries like China and Pakistan. The 1962 Sino-Indian War exposed vulnerabilities in India's defense and foreign policy approach. Last, we have conclusion. The Nehruvian Consensus was instrumental in shaping India's early years as an independent nation. It provided a comprehensive framework for economic development, social justice, and international diplomacy. While it had its shortcomings, its impact on India's trajectory cannot be overstated. The legacy of the Nehruvian Consensus continues to influence contemporary Indian politics and policies, reflecting both its achievements and the lessons learned from its limitations.